Yeah.
Now, answer a question.
Now that's your next
I'm
move.
gonna answer a question.
Go ahead, Steve.
After that, are you gonna see her again?
It depends if it was right. She might be average looking, but the sex might be great.
You might be ready to work with some stuff. You might be ready to work with some stuff.
Yeah, you might do that. You might do that a half a dozen times before you dismiss it.
And then you wake up.
Yeah.
What am I doing here?
Yeah.
Bed on the floor.
All right, let's go to the next question, because that leads right into the next question. Sofo, do you think that women are pricing themselves too high? Like, meaning that they want more high value than what they really deserve, if you will, for lack of a better term?
I'm gonna say no, because you if you feel you worth something crazy, we see it every day. It's people that we work with that think they worth more than what they are.
And we're talking about girls, though. We're talking about girls.
So if she feels she's worth something crazy, she may not be. But if you roll a dice, she might get it. I can understand it.
So let me narrow it down. Let me narrow it down a little bit. Okay. 35. Okay, 35-year-old woman. Good looking. Was probably really attractive at 25. 35, she's starting to age. She's she's had 2 kids. She's divorced. She's got a decent job, not a great job. But now she's got 2 kids. She's still attractive, but attractive for 35, not super hot. You don't think that a lot of women in that predicament would price themselves out too high, meaning basically waiting for a guy that they think is waiting for a guy to come around that's really high value instead of looking for a guy that's an average dude?
Can I respond to that?
Let's talk.
I could say, yeah, they could mess up. They could mess that up by pricing themselves too high. But there might be a guy that might take them on and give her what she feels she's worth. It's weird.
But is that guy high value? So, when we talk high value, we mean talk about guys that are confident, making a really good living, bring a lot to the table, stability, relatively good looking guy, and is, 35, 40, 45 years old, established, and is single. And you think that you think a guy would actually go for a girl that is 2 kids, divorced, decent looking, average, or average all around?
Probably not. Go
ahead, Steve, answer that. You wanted to cut you off.
Let me give you the scenario. That's the equivalent. That whole scenario is the equivalent of a chick, like you said, she thinks she is worth so much or what have you, right? That's the equivalent of a chick that is 350 pounds trying to squeeze into a bodysuit, walking around like she all that. When, somebody needs to tell that chick that one size does not fit all, okay? You understand what I'm saying? She walking around like she's all juicy and shit, and she looks disgusted, but she's feeling herself. So she wearing that shit like she's that chick. But meanwhile, somebody needs to tell that chick, I don't want to curse because I'm trying to be.
You can curse. We're far into it now.
But bitch, take that shit off and go put on a house dress or some shit. Because your ass is too big for that sexy shit. Come on. Reality will set in, but these chicks with that confidence think that they deserve way more than they're even what's the word? That they even deserve. You know what I mean? Like, you can't come, don't fake it. Either you got it or you don't.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? Don't fake it.
Julian.
Yo. You know what I'm saying?
Julian, do you think that's common? Do you think that's common with today's generation?
That women think they're worth more?
Yeah.
I think so, you know, the way you asked Jay the question was, I'm gonna agree with Jay. I don't think she'll get a guy like that just because the guy is, he's got his own thing going on,
Yeah.
It's like almost like extra baggage,
Yeah.
Anybody,
No,
vice
I know.
versa.
Yeah, that's true. But do you think that women who think they deserve a guy like that is altogether too common or not?
I think it's a lot of women out here that's like that, that think they're worth more than what they provide or what they're bringing to the table to the relationship period, just in general to a relationship.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it's bad to build relationships.
Mhm.
If you thinking about building a relationship, I think it's bad. But it's a different world now, man. It's like it ain't about families no more. It's about I build, you build, we build a family. It's not like we build a family together. I build, you build, we come together in the middle. Different,
Do you think that helps or hurts the community?
Like what type of community?
Your community, obviously.
Well, I think it hurts the community, as a Black man, you want to see more families. You want to see more, kids growing up with moms and dads.
Mhm.
But,
Thank
but it's
you.
just like, it's a whole big, it goes from one thing to, that question could lead to a whole lot of other things. But yeah, I think now I don't want to say like women should lower their value, but I think people should look themselves in the mirror and say, what am I worth? It's like, it ain't always what you look out of your brain. You don't look at yourself. Sometimes you gotta look at yourself and say, what am I bringing to the table?
Mhm.
And
What about you, Wash? I didn't want to skip you on that one. Do you think that scenario helps or hurts the community?
In our community it hurts because when there's no father there, the father is. I'm gonna say the father is more important at a certain point in a child's life, right? Boy or girl, because the father's gonna, like Chris Rock said, the father gonna keep her off the pole, and the father gonna keep his son out of jail, because he has to be there. Because my wife, I'm gonna talk about my wife. My wife at a certain point was like, "Listen, that's your son. You deal with your son,"
Mhm.
because now he's feeling himself. Now they
Right.
feeling themselves. They know their chest look a little bigger, got a little hair down there, and they feeling themselves. And then with girls, well, I don't have any girls, but I would think as a father, you want them, especially if you're a responsible father, you want them hopefully to meet a man like you. That's that, and plus you being there, you can kind of what's the word I'm looking for? If you see the bum come through the door, you can kind of like get at it as a father.
Yeah.
Right. Jay,
Take it early.
Jay, right.
Take
Jay and Julian, y'all have daughters, so I know y'all. And I know y'all when y'all see that bum come through there, I know y'all gonna be on it.
Go ahead, Sofo.
And
Take over from there.
Hey, pa. I'm
all
on the phone.
women go
My
through
friend.
their weird
Good night,
guy
love you.
bum stages. Most women, they go through the weird guy where it's like him, seriously him, and it takes them a while to get it right sometimes. But as a father there to a daughter, it's very important. But we don't want to teach our daughters to be alphas so much because that's an issue. Minority women are already strong. They're already strong women. They could run an entire show. You know what I mean? They really can. But it needs to be a thing to where they know how to, okay, let me pull back. It's his turn to be in charge, And a lot of them got that. They do have that. But that could be an issue in which is in the community. It really can, and it is.
And it's deep rooted for us. You know where it come from. It's a long history of this country separating the father out the picture. And that came from when, back in the days you was on welfare, you can have a father in the house. You had to choose. Do I feed my kids or I have this man in here and we both just starve? So once our women got used to that, it came to the point where like, it was all right with being alone. And I don't need you, I don't need no man. And it get this father, and I'm the father and the daddy mentality that they run around with, which is foolishness. Because you can't do what I do. You can't teach it the way I teach my son.
Mhm.
If you can't teach him how to pee like I can teach him how to pee. It just ain't realistic.
Yeah.
But black men and black women,
100%.
right? We at a crossroad where we're kind of at war with each other in a way.
Mhm.
That they're moving faster than the black men are. And the problem is that instead of saying I'm a successful black woman and I'm here, I'm a successful black woman and I'm gonna step on you
Mhm.
because you're not here, and I'm gonna make this unrealistic expectation for myself because I'm only making this amount of money, and you just kind of like. I'm not saying all of them do it, but some do it. They gauge everything by the dollar amount, like Julian said. Everything is like sometimes it's money.
What about the black woman who's successful, who's willing to ride with you? You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Like,
look, yeah.
Out,
Well, all right,
yeah,
yeah, good.
she's willing to
I was-
ride with you. So,
out.
you're
Mhm.
like,
Do we
listen
do we
here.
realistically know any women that are making well over six figures and are willing to ride with a guy that is making less than her?
I don't know any.
I know
I
more
don't
females.
know anyone like that
I-
per se.
I got his,
But
I got his
I'm
answer.
saying
I,
that
Go ahead, Jay. Let Jay, and then I'll get back to you, Steve. All right. Let Softball talk. Sorry.
go ahead.
I got his answer. I know a lot of successful black women, business owners, very high in corporate, and some of the guys that they dealt with, I'm your friend, and I'm gonna tell you the truth, just like I'm gonna tell y'all.
Mhm.
Listen, that ain't what it is. But I do have friends where I was like, he's growing, give him a chance. I see what he want to do, and he's trying to catch up. And they're willing to, like I said before earlier, build a bear. That's what they call it. Okay, I'll work with him. I see his potential. There are a lot out there, not many, but at the same time, I've seen them more than one work with guys and help them grow.
And you've seen the relationships become successful and married and so on and so forth.
I can't say names, but I have
No, you don't
one
have to know. Of course not.
friend. Yeah, it's going that route, and I had to have the conversation with her. Like, listen, I like this guy, and this guy is the guy, and I see where he's going and what he's doing. Give him a little bit, and now this guy is talking real estate. She just got to groom. Listen, all of our women had to groom us in a way. All of us.
But
Like,
you know what it is, Jay?
That's a success story right there. That's a success story.
Hold on. But Jay, is that I'm trying to generalize. Is that the norm, or is that just one scenario that you have seen?
it's more than one scenario. I've seen it. I've seen my relatives build men, and then men, fly away and go somewhere else, or some of them.
No, but the question led to, are the women already successful, right? Making well over six figures, and then marry a man that is not making as much or not as successful, and you've seen that girl wait around until he does produce, and then that you've seen that relationship go on to flourish?
Yes, I've seen it twice.
Twice. Okay. Has anybody else seen it? Because I haven't.
No. Let me say this.
Go ahead, Steve.
Let me say this.
Because I got to keep
If a woman that you're in a relationship with sees potential in you, right? And say, she is already an established woman, making good money. She's well established, but you are not at that juncture yet, right? But she sees the potential in you, whereas she said, well, I'm going to let this ride out because I know he had the potential to bring himself to a certain level, right? That woman is a woman who's a ride or die chick, because she is the type of chick that is willing to build you up, like Julie was saying, right? And
Steve, you froze on us, Steve. You froze.
Yeah, he did. We gone?
Those women,
there you go.
I don't
Okay.
want to say are few and far between, but
He's still talking.
pretty much that's what it is.
But Steve, hold on. Have you ever actually seen that?
Yes.
You've seen a woman make $150,000, $175,000 a year
Yes.
and get into a relationship with a guy who's making 40, 45,000.
Yes, I've seen that.
And you've
I've
seen
seen
it,
that.
and you've seen it how many times?
Well, only once, maybe twice. That's it.
Okay. Once or
Not a
twice?
lot. Not a lot. Not a lot.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
but you know, it
And
happened.
that woman respected him fully as a man.
Yes. Yes. 100%.
All right. So we have
It
one.
happens,
So
bro.
so we have
It's not
one
like
time.
it's
So
not-
we have.
You
so we have.
making it sound. You trying to make it sound like it's not as like it's non-existent. It does
No,
happen.
no, no. I'm not. Yeah, but we're generalizing, right? You can't. We can't. Okay. All right, Julian.
No,
Is that the norm, or are we
Nah,
generalizing? Yeah, I don't
I
like.
don't-
I don't like. What I don't like to do is I don't like to bring up a scenario that is not the norm or is a exception to the rule and combat it against the generalization, because there's always an exception to the rule. But generally speaking, is that the norm, Julian? Have you seen that
not
on
from
average?
my perspective. Not from my perspective. No.
What about you, Wash?
No, I haven't seen it. I don't know too many people that make that much money other than my brother,
Right.
but I haven't seen it. No.
All right, let's move on to the next one. So, Steve,
You
this is what I wanted to ask you.
Ex-mother.
So,
Wonderful.
coming off
You're
from
off
what
the couch.
Jay Sofo was saying before, do you think today's women are too aggressive, too alpha, too combative?
For today's society, I want to say no. I mean, because you know, you got to remember something. I look at a lot of perspectives from an old school perspective because, you know, of my upbringing and because I'm
Old school. That's why. Cause you old school.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we all.
And I got a different view on a lot of shit. But as far as that's concerned, I want to say no.
What about you,
Because-
Sofo? Do you think today's women are too combative, too aggressive, too alpha?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. 100%.
Good.
It's-
Elaborate on that.
It goes as far as even raising kids and even down to women telling men how to raise boys. It goes as far as them arguing men's situations in which they are women and they would never understand in a man's manner and factor. As far as certain things that men just know and they're telling you, no, I don't think that was that. No, it is that. I'm a man and I'm telling you, it might be different, but most of the time is this. Yeah, a lot of women nowadays are combative.
I have a scenario like that too. I definitely have a scenario like that.
Okay, you want to talk about it?
Yeah, I was measuring stuff in my house, and my wife is trying to tell me how to measure. So she's like,
yeah, my wife does that. Yeah.
measure from the inside. I'm like, I know how to measure. I know how to use a tape measure. I don't know. Measure from the listen, I've been doing this for a long time. I've been doing the plumbing for a long time. Yeah, we had an old argument about measuring.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But my wife also was raised by she has a lot of women in her life. She has some men in her life too.
Right.
But that thing, that's the little things. It's probably worse because that's just my wife. You know, I could just brush it off.
Right.
But it's probably worse when you're dealing with somebody who's really feeling themselves,
Mm-hmm.
and you're just a nice guy, and you just come around, and everything is I'm gonna bite your head off response.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, that's a lot of things. I think that's what happening with a lot of things now. Everything is because they respond like they're responding to a bad text or a bad comment under their photos.
Mhm.
Sometimes when you're with the person, and they talk to you that way because nobody know. I don't know if this generation know how to talk to each other. They sit in the same room and text.
No,
Yeah.
Peter, I don't think they do.
I don't think they know how to communicate like
See, but
how we
you know-
did.
So,
I'm sound old, but
no,
So-
it's the truth. Julian, well, I'll get back to you, Steve. I'm sorry, man. I'm just trying to get through these questions. You know, otherwise we'll be here for 3 hours.
All
So,
right.
because that again, Julian, that goes right into what this next question goes right into what Wash was saying. So do you think today's women are not as feminine or ladylike as previous generations? So when I say, when we say feminine, we're not talking about high heels and tight clothes and makeup and nails and hair. That's just a small percentage of it. What I mean is like being ladylike, if you will, conducting themselves like a lady with their husband in public, being more uplifting for their man and more of a cheerleader for their man, or kind of letting the man do the man thing, like let's say driving, right? I see a lot of young generations where the girl is driving the car. It's just a small scenario where the girl is driving the car and the guy is in the passenger seat. And I know that would not really happen with any one of us. What do you think, Julian?
So that's a tough one, man. I drive my car. Let my wife drive her car.
Right.
Just to get off that. But
That's just as that was just a
just like
suggestion.
the newer. I think based on my experiences, all the people that I know around my age that's married, I think the women uplift their husbands. I think the marriages go well. Based on my experiences. Now generally speaking, I'm gonna go. It's two different type of females out here. It's the females that want to be in a relationship, and the women that don't. And the women that don't, it answers itself. And the women that do will do anything to be with their husbands.
But
and
the question was as compared to previous generations, like our grandmothers, our mothers.
All right. So I'm gonna say based on my experiences with my people that I know that's married. So everybody I know that's married in my relation, around my age, I'm gonna say the women in the relationships help their husbands.
And more so in the previous generations or today.
I'm going by the relationships previous and today. I think it's almost the same as in previous generations. I'm going by based on my experiences because my mom and my dad are still married. And everybody that I know, is except for one couple, but everybody else that I know is still married, and they've been through their ups and downs. The people I know right now that's married, I think are still married. I think it's been like a booming, and I think the people that don't want to be married will never be married. That's two different type of slices of the bread. It's like if you're in a relationship, you want to be married in this generation, you're gonna do whatever it takes, and the people that don't, it's because it's money behind it. It's not because I can find love. No, it's because you can make money and support yourself somewhere else. So the people that want to find love, it's gonna find love and build a family. People that want to be whatever they want to be.
All right,
I think that's
Wash, why don't you hold on, Steve? Let me
touch on a very good topic, a very good point.
let me
It's about love or about money.
Okay.
And that
but that's
is amazing.
Steve. We're not. I gotta conduct the questions. All right.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Wash. Answer that question. Do you think today's women are more feminine and ladylike and more agreeable and know how to let the man do the man thing? Do you think they're more so today or in previous generations?